There comes a moment in every man's life when the path becomes unbearable. The dream feels far, the obstacles seem too many, the fire inside, flickering. And that voice, quiet but persistent, says, maybe you should quit. Let me tell you something that every successful person has realized. Quitting hurts more than trying and failing ever will. Because quitting doesn't just kill your dream, it kills your self-respect. Ask yourself, how many times have you walked away too soon? How many times did you stand inches from the prize and retreat? You don't lack the ability. You lack the force to keep going when everything in you says stop, the force to persist, even when no one's clapping, no one's watching, and no one believes. Do you think Henry Ford had an easy road? He went broke 5 times before the Ford Motor Company ever became profitable. 5 times he stood at the crossroads. Quit or persist. 5 times he chose to burn the ships behind him and advance forward. Quitting was not an option. Thomas Edison made 10,000 failures before creating a working light bulb. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That mindset isn't poetic. It's essential. It's the mind of a man who decided once and for all, I will not turn back. There are 2 types of pain in life, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. You choose one, but regret will never make you stronger. Discipline will. Right now, you're standing at the border between greatness and defeat. And you may be tired, you may be bleeding, but so what? If your legs are shaking, crawl. If your voice trembles, speak anyway. If your heart's breaking, keep walking. You think greatness waits for comfort? Number greatness bows only to those who show up broken, but still moving. This is not about what you feel. This is about what you've decided. Your emotions are not your master. Your vision is. So the question is simple. Will you serve your feelings or will you serve your future? Because once you've decided that you will force yourself to keep going, the entire universe moves to meet your decision. Now let me tell you what comes first. Every act of greatness was born from one thing, desire, not wishful thinking, not lukewarm someday plans, but burning, blazing, irresistible desire. Desire is the beginning of all things. Without it, faith cannot take root. Without it, action falls flat. Without it, persistence is just pain without purpose. The man who truly desires will outwork the man with mere talent. He will outlast the man with money. He will outshine the man with luck. Think back to young Andrew Carnegie. He had no money. He had no powerful last name, but he had a hunger so fierce that he studied the habits of every rich man he met. He sharpened his mind. He surrounded himself with powerful thinkers. He made himself impossible to ignore. Desire made him dangerous. What do you want? So badly it keeps you up at night? What's that vision that pulls at your chest when you sit still? Most people never answer that question. They get busy with errands and bills and other people's demands. They bury the dream and call it maturity. But inside, the fire still aches to be fed. Let me make it plain. If your dream does not make you uncomfortable, it is not big enough. If it doesn't scare you a little, you don't want it badly enough. Desire demands discomfort. Desire demands obsession. Write it down, see it in your mind, feel it in your blood. Talk about it as if it already exists. Because your mind cannot move toward what it does not clearly see. Vague goals create vague action. But a white-hot desire, that's gasoline for the soul. You don't need approval. You don't need guarantees. You need to burn. And when you burn, when your desire consumes doubt, you begin to move with a different energy. People will feel it. The right people will be drawn. The wrong ones will run. Desire separates the wishful from the willful. And now that the fire is lit, what fuels it? What makes it unstoppable? It begins with the power of belief. Desire without faith is a ship without a sail. It may be full of passion, but it has no direction. It moves nowhere. Now listen closely. Faith is not blind. Faith is vision beyond evidence. It is the ability to see what does not yet exist and move toward it with confidence. When Henry Ford announced he would build a car for the great multitude, his own engineers laughed. They said it couldn't be done. Mass production at that level was impossible, they said, but Ford had something they didn't: unshakable belief. He had already seen it in his mind. He had lived it in his imagination. The Model T wasn't just an idea, it was real to him. That's faith, and it's not exclusive to the famous. Ordinary men and women tap into this power every single day. The mother who believes her children will live a better life. The artist who sees beauty before the world does. The entrepreneur who feels wealth before the numbers show it. Faith is your anchor when facts betray you. Faith is your motor when the winds go still. You've got to believe in yourself when no one else does. You've got to move forward before the path is clear. Because here's the secret: it only becomes clear once you move. Your subconscious is always listening. Every doubt you entertain is a command. Every belief you affirm is a seed. Say it until you believe it. Walk like it's already yours. Speak like you've already succeeded. Faith is the fuel that takes your desire and throws it into motion. And the moment you truly believe, your mind begins to create the way forward. So you've got the fire. You've got the belief. Now it's time to speak it into existence every single day, because repetition is the root of mastery. Let's talk about the power of auto-suggestion. The most powerful words in the world are not the ones spoken to you. They're the ones spoken by you, to yourself, in silence. This is auto-suggestion, the act of planting a belief so deep in your mind it becomes law. Not a wish, not a hope, but a command. Your subconscious mind does not care what is true. It does not analyze, argue, or negotiate. It accepts, it obeys, it executes. So let me ask you plainly, what have you been telling it? I can't do this. I'm not ready. It's too hard. You've repeated these lines so often, you've built a fortress of limitation around your potential. But here's the miracle. That same fortress can be torn down and rebuilt, brick by brick, line by line, affirmation by affirmation. Every single day you must declare who you are becoming, not just when you're feeling good, not when the circumstances look favorable, but especially when they don't. You must speak as if your dream is already complete. You must convince your subconscious before the world catches up. I am strong. I am disciplined. I am worthy of wealth and greatness. I attract the right people. I do not quit. Say it until it feels awkward. Say it until it feels like truth. Say it until it feels like breathing. Edison did this. He didn't merely experiment with inventions. He conditioned his mind for invention. He woke up saying, "Today, I discover something no one else can see." That kind of repetition wires the brain like electricity through copper. And here's what happens. Auto-suggestion becomes identity. And once it's part of your identity, you act without hesitation. It's like a thermostat. Set the internal temperature, and your behavior adjusts to match it. If you don't consciously set it high, life will keep it low. You think the winners just happen to believe in themselves? They trained their minds like athletes train their bodies. They programmed excellence into their thoughts day after day. So when life screams quit, your inner voice whispers, I keep going. Hard work is not the secret. Millions of people work hard, and millions stay broke. It's not about how much effort you give, it's about where that effort goes. Specialized knowledge is the lever that moves mountains. Not general information, not trivia, but the precise knowledge required to win in your field. General education may earn you a job. Specialized knowledge builds an empire. Think of the brain like a magnifying glass. Unfocused light does nothing, but when focused into a beam, it can burn through steel. You've got to become a focused beam. Carnegie knew this. He didn't waste time trying to master everything. He mastered steel production. He knew more about that one subject than anyone alive, and what he didn't know, he hired minds sharper than his own to fill the gaps. That's the difference. He wasn't just working hard, he was working right. Ask yourself right now, what skill, if mastered, would make your success inevitable? What knowledge, if acquired, would change everything? Go after it. Relentlessly, with books, with mentors, with mistakes, because here's the truth. You are not paid by the hour. You are paid by the value you bring to the hour. And value comes from depth, from knowing something well enough to move markets, from being so sharp in one area, you cannot be ignored. The mind is a tool, but a dull tool wastes time. Sharpen it daily, purposefully. Do not be the man who drowns in information but starves for clarity. Be the one who digs deep where the gold lies hidden. Now that you've claimed your fire, your belief, your voice, and your focus, it's time to use the most powerful force of all, your imagination. Everything that exists, everything, began as a thought, a picture in the mind of a man who refused to doubt it. The airplane existed in the imagination of the Wright brothers long before it left the earth. The light bulb lived in Edison's mind before it lit a single room. And your dream? It is waiting for you to hold it in your imagination, boldly, vividly, unshakably. Imagination is the workshop of the soul. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. But most people never use it for good. They use it to rehearse failure, to magnify fears, to relive disappointment. Stop that. Use your imagination as a builder, not a burglar. Let it construct what you desire, not steal what you already have. Here's the truth no one tells you. Your imagination, when disciplined, becomes prophetic. It becomes a creative force, not just a daydream. You want success? Then see yourself as successful. Feel it. Touch it in your mind. Hear the applause. Taste the victory. Smell the air at the top of the mountain. Your subconscious does not know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you imagine consistently, your body begins to move toward what the mind believes is familiar. This is why the greatest leaders are visionaries. They walk into a room already seeing what no one else can see. They speak about the future with conviction because they've lived it already in their thoughts. Imagination is not a child's tool, it is a warrior's weapon. So the question is, what are you imagining right now? Poverty or prosperity? Fear or faith? Excuses or execution? If you can see it, if you can build it in the invisible ... It's only a matter of time before it becomes inevitable. And once you have imagined it clearly, you must decide, because imagination without decision is like a loaded cannon never fired. Let's talk about the power of decisive action. Indecision is the silent killer of dreams. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It distracts. It delays. It deceives. It tells you there's still time, that you need more information, that maybe tomorrow is better. But here's the truth you must tattoo into your mind. Every second you delay a decision, you train yourself to hesitate, and hesitation rots the soul like rust on iron. Greatness does not wait for perfection. Greatness decides, then corrects course while moving. When Napoleon Bonaparte was asked his secret to military dominance, he said, "I make my decisions in 30 seconds. I act while others are still thinking." It wasn't brilliance, it was decisiveness that gave him power. Most people die with their music still in them, not because they lacked talent, but because they kept postponing the moment they said, "Now I begin." You must become ruthless with hesitation, ruthless with indecision, ruthless with the habit of circling the same mountain of what if. A man once told me, "I've been thinking about starting my business for 12 years. I looked him in the eye and said, "You didn't spend 12 years thinking. You spent 12 years fearing." And fear disguised as planning is the most dangerous form of procrastination. The world does not reward thought. The world rewards action born of thought. Write this down. Successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change them quickly. You must become a person of action, not tomorrow, not next month. Now, because decision is what turns imagination into incarnation. It's what lifts the plane off the runway. It's what pulls you out of the pit and into momentum. And momentum is where persistence is born. Let's move into the furnace that forges champions. Persistence. There will come a day, if it hasn't already, when you wake up and feel nothing. No motivation, no fire, just weight, fog, doubt. This is the threshold. This is where the weak fold and the destined rise. Persistence is the test, not of talent, not of strength, but of will. Everyone is enthusiastic in the beginning. Everyone is fired up on day one, but day one doesn't make legends. Day 100 does. The day you move forward while bleeding, the day you build while grieving, the day you fight while faithless. This is the day that defines your destiny. Harlan Sanders, Colonel Sanders, was rejected 1,009 times when pitching his chicken recipe. Most people can't handle 10 rejections. He faced over 1,000 no's. He kept going until someone finally said yes, and KFC was born. That's not luck. That's relentless obedience to the call inside. You cannot microwave your mission. You must endure the silence, the loneliness, the days when no one sees you, because those are the days when you see yourself. Persistence is a covenant with your future self. I will not betray the version of me that is waiting on the other side. You may be mocked, you may be ignored, you may be misunderstood. Good. Let them talk. Because while they're watching, you're walking. While they sleep, you grind. While they doubt, you build. When the storm hits, you don't stop. You drop your anchor deeper, and when the wind dies and your sails collapse, you pick up your oars and row anyway. Persistence isn't loud. It doesn't brag. It just keeps showing up until the walls fall. But here's the truth. You were never meant to do it alone. Let's talk about the secret force most ignore, the mastermind. You can go fast alone, but you'll go farther, higher, deeper with the right people. The world wants you to believe in the myth of the lone wolf, but every great achievement is backed by a mastermind. A synergy of minds aligned in purpose, fused in belief. Andrew Carnegie, the world's richest man of his time, said this: every great fortune begins with a mastermind. He had a circle of thinkers, visionaries, engineers, and financial minds that worked together toward one aim. Napoleon, Ford, Edison, none of them walked alone, because one mind, no matter how brilliant, is limited. But two or more minds working in harmony tap into a higher intelligence. They create a third mind, greater than the sum of its parts. This is not about networking. It's not about collecting business cards or followers. It's about alignment, and it's about frequency. It's about sitting at a table where every person is obsessed with becoming more. So ask yourself now, who are the 5 people shaping your beliefs? Who is feeding your mind, your habits, your standards? If they're not making you better, they're making you weaker. If they're not pulling you forward, they're pulling you under. Cut the cords to mediocrity. Break the ties with complacency. Seek out people who call out your greatness, who refuse to let you settle, who push, challenge, sharpen, and lift you. And be that person for someone else. Because when you activate a mastermind, you become a channel for something greater. Ideas flow, confidence multiplies, faith ignites, and suddenly, the impossible becomes practical. You are not alone. You were never meant to carry this dream by yourself. And once you find your circle, once your minds lock in on one purpose, a mysterious force begins to move through you. That force is rooted in the subconscious. And now it's time to tap the invisible power that controls everything you do. There's a power working in your life right now, whether you acknowledge it or not. It is silent, invisible, tireless, and it never forgets. This power is your subconscious mind. It does not sleep. It never blinks. It absorbs everything: your words, your fears, your self-talk, your habits. And then it delivers results exactly in line with what you plant inside it. It is the soil of your destiny. What you plant in faith, it grows. What you plant in fear, it grows. This is not guesswork. This is law. If you tell yourself daily, "I'm stuck, I'll never succeed," "It's too hard," your subconscious says, "as you wish." And then it begins rearranging your emotions, energy, and actions to match your expectation. But if you plant, "I am capable, I am born for this, I am the storm," then your subconscious begins to attract, align, and arrange the right resources, people, and instincts to make it true. You must become the gardener of your inner world. Weed out doubt. Tear up shame by the root. Water your belief with repetition, vision, and emotion. Because the subconscious mind only responds to two things: repetition and emotion. You must feel it, live it, say it, repeat it. Do this long enough, and you'll notice something miraculous. Your actions become automatic. You'll no longer have to force discipline. You'll become discipline. You won't struggle to be confident. You'll speak boldly without thinking about it. Why? Because your subconscious will already know. This is who we are. Your outside world is nothing but a mirror, and that mirror reflects what's been brewing in secret. So, if you want to change the world around you, you must reprogram the engine within you. And once your subconscious is in alignment with your vision, that's when a new faculty awakens, something beyond logic. There is a voice inside you that doesn't speak in words. It whispers in moments. It nudges when you pause. It warns when something feels off, even when all signs look good on paper. That voice is your sixth sense, the divine intelligence that only reveals itself to those who have earned it. You cannot fake your way into this gift. You must walk through the fire. You must align your thoughts, your faith, your emotions. And then, and only then, it appears. It comes as an intuition, an idea in the night, a sudden flash of clarity. And if you obey it, it leads to breakthroughs beyond what logic could predict. Every great inventor, thinker, and spiritual giant has spoken of this force. Edison called it the spirit of invention. Carnegie said it was the mystery that separates men who achieve from those who merely plan. It is your inner compass. It is your link to infinite intelligence. And here's what's profound. The more you honor it, the louder it becomes. But the more you ignore it, the quieter it grows, until you can't hear it at all. Your sixth sense speaks the language of faith, not fear. It doesn't negotiate, it knows. It doesn't care what others think. It doesn't require evidence. It requires only obedience. You felt it before, haven't you? That moment when you knew something was meant for you. A place, a path, a person, a decision. And even if others doubted, you knew. That knowing is your divine advantage. It doesn't just help you succeed. It helps you avoid destruction. It shields you from traps. It moves you toward your calling. So quiet the noise, still the fear, and learn to listen. Because now, after everything you've heard, the time has come not to think, not to wait, but to act. Let's bring this home. You have been lied to. You were told to be realistic, to settle, to keep your head down, to wait your turn. But inside you is something greater, a dream, a mission, a divine seed. And it did not come to you to die in comfort. It came to stretch you, test you, and grow you into the person capable of carrying it. You've now seen the path. You've felt the fire of desire. You've touched the power of faith. You've learned to speak with auto-suggestion, to sharpen your focus with specialized knowledge, to create with imagination, to move with decision, to endure with persistence, to align with a master mind, to reprogram your subconscious, and to be led by the sixth sense. You've been handed the blueprint. But here's the final truth, and don't miss it. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to wake up and do the work for you. The dream does not belong to your mother, your friend, your mentor, or your boss. It belongs to you. And if you quit now, if you back down, you betray not just your future, you betray the part of you that was born to rise. So this is the call. This is the line in the sand. Decide that no matter how hard it gets, you will keep going. That no matter who doubts you, you will believe. That no matter how long it takes, you will finish. This isn't just motivation. This is a mandate from your soul, from your creator, from the future version of you who's waiting with outstretched arms, whispering, "Don't stop. Keep going. It was always you." So what now? Write down your decision. Speak your vision. Take action today, not tomorrow. Now. Because the man who moves forward while others hesitate, the woman who decides while others wait, becomes unstoppable. Now go. Force yourself to keep going and watch the world bend to the power of your persistence. Force yourself to keep going and watch the world bend to the power of your persistence.